Sometimes, the most powerful moments in life arrive when we least expect them. That morning, Jasper Cole wasn't planning a grand entrance. He didn't want applause or welcome banners. He just wanted silence. And his baby boy, Jasper, a 37-year-old black millionaire, had built his empire from scratch. From real estate to tech, his name meant something in Atlanta. People respected him, feared him even. But behind all the success, the private jets, the tailored suits, and the marble halls, there was one thing Jasper missed more than anything: warmth. Real, human warmth. His wife had passed away the year Michael was born, leaving behind a quiet that no money could fill. And lately, Jasper had been craving something no meeting in Dubai could offer: his son's laughter. So that day, he flew back early without telling anyone. No calls, no warning. He wanted to walk into his home and catch it off guard, see how it breathed when no one was trying to impress him. The sun had barely reached the high windows when he stepped through the front door. His polished shoes echoed softly against the white marble floor. His crisp white suit, paired with a sky-blue tie, looked perfect as always, but his heart beat with something deeper. Something raw. He passed the hallway, walking toward the kitchen. And that's when he stopped. His breath caught. His eyes narrowed. There she was, Emily Carter, the new maid. A white woman in her late 20s, wearing her lavender uniform, sleeves rolled up, hair tied in a messy bun. She was focused, calm, unaware of his presence. In the kitchen sink, cushioned in a small plastic baby tub, was Micah, his 8-month-old baby boy. Emily was giving him a bath. Jasper froze. Micah giggled softly as Emily trickled warm water onto his tiny belly, supporting his head with care, like she had done it 1,000 times. Sunlight from the tall window lit them both, like a moment stolen from time. Jasper's jaw tightened. What was she doing? No one was allowed to handle Micah except Rosalind, the trusted nanny who was on leave. Emily was hired just to clean, sweep floors, dust furniture. And now, here she was touching his son? His first instinct was to shout, to end it right there. But just as he stepped forward, something made him stop. She was humming. Not just any melody. It was the lullaby. The very same song his late wife used to sing to Micah. Soft, gentle, filled with love. Jasper hadn't heard that tune in nearly a year, and now here it was, falling from the lips of a stranger. And somehow, it felt familiar. Micah wasn't scared. He wasn't upset. He was smiling, splashing, reaching up to Emily's face as if he'd known her forever. Jasper felt something stir in his chest. A memory, a pain, a warmth he had tried to lock away. But then, his guard returned. His voice, cold and sharp, cut through the air. "What do you think you're doing?" Emily jumped, startled. Her face went pale as she spun around, holding a towel to cover Micah. "Sir, I can explain," she said quickly, her voice trembling. "Where's Rosalind?" Jasper asked, eyes locked on her. "She's still on leave," Emily replied. "I thought you weren't due back until Friday." "I wasn't. But now I'm here, and you're bathing my son, like you're his mother?" Her hands shook slightly. "He had a mild fever last night," she explained. "He was crying non-stop, sweating. I couldn't find the thermometer, and the warm water calmed him down last time. I couldn't ignore it. I was going to tell you." Jasper crossed his arms. "I pay for private nurses. The best care money can buy," he snapped. "You are a maid. You don't touch my son." Emily's eyes filled with tears, but she stood still. "I didn't mean any harm," she whispered. "He needed help. I was here." Silence fell over the kitchen like a heavy fog. "Put him in his crib," Jasper finally said, voice cold. "Then pack your things. You're fired." Emily didn't argue. She didn't beg. She simply looked down at Micah, kissed his forehead softly, and walked away, holding him like it might be the last time. Later that day, Jasper sat in his quiet study, staring at nothing. He had done what any responsible father would do, right? He had drawn the line, protected his son, taken control. And yet, the house felt too quiet, too heavy. He opened the baby monitor app on his phone. Micah was asleep now, peaceful. His cheeks were still flushed, but he wasn't crying. Emily's words echoed in Jasper's mind. He had a fever. Why hadn't anyone told him? Why hadn't he noticed? He clenched his jaw. Upstairs, Emily was packing. She moved slowly, folding each piece of clothing carefully. Her hands trembled. Her eyes were red from silent crying. She reached into her suitcase and placed a small photograph on top. Her younger brother, Elijah, grinning from his wheelchair. A photo from years ago, before the sickness took him. Emily had once studied pediatric nursing. She had dreams, big ones. But when her parents died suddenly, and Elijah's condition worsened, she dropped everything to care for him. She never got the chance to finish school. He passed away 3 years ago. And ever since then, Emily had stayed quiet, worked humble jobs, tried to heal. She sang that same lullaby to Elijah when he was scared. She hadn't sung it again until Micah. Just then, a knock on the door. It was Harold, the butler. "Mr. Cole said your payment and references will arrive by evening. He asked that you leave before sunset." Emily nodded. "Understood," she whispered. She picked up her suitcase, took one last look around. But then it happened. A cry. "Micah." Emily froze. She knew that cry. It wasn't his hungry cry. It wasn't his playful whimper. It was sharp, urgent, panicked. Her heart raced. She dropped the bag. And without permission, without a second thought, she ran toward the nursery. The nursery door creaked softly as Emily pushed it open. Micah was writhing in his crib, his tiny hands clenched, cheeks flushed deeper than before. Sweat beaded on his forehead. His breathing was fast, too fast. Emily's heart dropped. She rushed to his side and placed her cool hand gently on his forehead. "No, no, baby, it's back," she whispered. "You're burning up." Every instinct in her body kicked in. This wasn't just a mild fever anymore. His chest was rising and falling too quickly. His lips were starting to dry. She knew these signs. She had seen them before. Just as she reached to lift Micah, a deep voice stopped her cold. "Step away from him." Emily turned slowly. Jasper stood in the doorway, arms crossed, eyes unreadable. "Sir, please, he's not okay." "I've called a doctor," he said, stepping inside. "He'll be here soon." Emily shook her head, gently cradling Micah. "There's no time, Mr. Cole. He's dehydrated. His breathing is shallow. If we wait, he could have a seizure." Jasper's face changed. Fear flickered in his eyes. "How do you even know that?" he asked quietly. Emily looked up at him, her own eyes glistening. "Because I've seen it," she said. "My younger brother, Elijah, he used to get fevers just like this. I cared for him for years." "You're a maid," Jasper muttered, confused. She took a slow breath. "I was studying pediatric nursing, top of my class. But when our parents died, and Elijah needed round-the-clock care, I dropped out. I never told anyone. Why would I? No one ever asks the maid." Jasper was silent. Micah whimpered again, his cry weaker this time. And that's when Jasper made the most important decision of his life. He walked over, reached down, and gently lifted his son. Then, without a word, he handed Micah to Emily. "Do what you have to do." She didn't wait. She moved fast but gently, just like she had done with Elijah. She grabbed a cool cloth and placed it under Micah's arms to reduce the fever. She held him upright, carefully adjusting his breathing posture. Then she pulled a small bottle of electrolyte solution from her purse, something she had used the night before just in case, and gave him a few drops. Jasper watched every move. She wasn't guessing. She wasn't panicking. She was trained. Calm. Steady. Micah slowly started to settle in her arms. By the time the doctor arrived, the fever had lowered just enough. Who treated him? The doctor asked Jasper. She did, Jasper said, pointing at Emily. The doctor nodded, impressed. She likely prevented a febrile seizure. Another 5 or 10 minutes, and this could have been very serious. Jasper didn't speak. He just looked at Emily, really looked at her. Everything he thought he knew had changed. Later that evening, after the doctor left and the house fell into stillness again, Jasper stood in the hallway outside the nursery. Through the cracked door, he could see Emily sitting quietly beside Micah's crib, gently stroking his curls as he slept. She looked tired, drained, but peaceful. She stood up slowly, thinking it was time to go. But Jasper stopped her with just 2 words. "Don't go." Emily froze. "Sir?" He stepped closer. "I'm sorry," he said, softly this time. "I judged you. I didn't ask. I didn't know." Emily's eyes welled up. "I was scared," Jasper continued. "Scared to lose control. Scared to trust someone with the only piece of my wife I have left." He took a deep breath. "Rosalind's retiring soon. I need someone who doesn't just show up for the paycheck. I need someone who truly sees Micah." He looked her straight in the eyes. "I want you to stay. Not as the maid, as his full-time caregiver." Emily's mouth parted in shock. "I don't know what to say." "Then don't say anything," he said with a small smile. "Just say you'll stay." A tear rolled down her cheek. "Yes, I'll stay." Jasper nodded slowly. "And if you want to go back to school, I'll sponsor your nursing degree. Finish what you started." Emily was speechless. For the first time in a long time, she felt seen. Months passed. Emily remained by Micah's side every day. And every night. She became more than just his caregiver. She became his world. Micah thrived under her love. His laughter filled the house again. His cheeks glowed with health. And every time he reached up for her with his tiny fingers, Jasper couldn't help but smile. He had once thought he was giving Emily a second chance. But the truth was, she gave him one too. She went back to school and graduated with top honors. Jasper was in the front row on her graduation day, holding Micah proudly. And as time passed, the bond between all 3 of them only grew deeper. Emily was no longer just the maid. She was Micah's second mother. And in her quiet strength, Jasper found healing, maybe even hope for love again. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And tell us in the comments, have you ever misjudged someone, only to discover their true value later? We'd love to hear your story. Until next time, stay kind, stay human, and keep watching.